calling me in.
So my first question is, you were among the first players to bet completely on LNG and not for the CNG or diesel route.
Correct.
So what have been the key learnings till date? And when it comes to consumer demand and customer feedback, what was the feedback that you got from your initial set of customers?
See, first and foremost, I think we started the whole journey with a mission saying we do not want to do diesel. Okay. Because we strongly believe that diesel is become too competitive, and second, it's likely to get into a downward spiral vis-a-vis the environment. And it doesn't make much sense to put more money into trying to make cleaner diesel vehicles because you must work on alternatives, especially greener fuels. And especially with the focus that the government is giving on gas utilization in India, our management was quite clear that we want to be a green truck company. As simple as that. That is the first thing. So we embarked upon, during the COVID period, the development of this vehicle. Fast forwarding it by 2 years, our experience for this has been we have done more than 30 million kilometers with around 600 plus vehicles which are running with. Basically, we serve several clients through Green Line, which is a trucking company.
Green line was just
Green Line Logistics. Plus, we also have about 130 vehicles running with Concor with scope for selling more. The natural barriers for this are it's a higher cost vehicle, despite the fact that we believe that over the life of about 3 or 4 years, we should be able to give you the same results as what diesel gives you, especially because of the significant improvement in fuel consumption. And of course, the carbon emissions are much lower, say 30 to 40% lower in carbon dioxide, and that's very significant. Now, if you look at challenges, as I said, first is the higher selling price, and consequently, we need to kind of guarantee the uptime. We have to make sure that it actually works, because any kind of guarantee if it doesn't work is no meaning, So we are quite sure. So we have gone through a development and testing and everything else to prove that that this vehicle actually is commercially viable vis-a-vis diesel. Now, we also have endorsements from international parties like TUV, etc., in order to give greater confidence. So we already know that it works well, but the customer gets more confidence if you get an endorsement from some international parties, which we have succeeded in doing. Fast forwarding it beyond 2 years of introduction, we still remain the only commercial player who's in the market with this kind of vehicle, which I think significantly says, one, the level of acceptance that the customer has for this, and second, the quality of the product that we produce.
So you touched upon a very key point, like consumer confidence. So consumer confidence is one thing. Technology maturity is another. Availability of finance. Do you see that as a improved now, given that you mentioned you're in the market for 3 years now? So do you see that availability of finance for LNG trucks is
currently availability of finance is not an issue because we have actually directed clientele through which we sell this, so there is really no issue about funding this. The second is the experience that we have given over 30 million kilometers about the viability of this product is through various of our Marcom agency and word of mouth that goes through is now catching up in the sense. Now, I think more and more financial institutions start to look at this as a viable option. So, as I said, though it wouldn't be on par with diesel right now, that I grant you, especially when you go into the neutral market selling it on retail basis, it may not be exactly the same. But I believe that if you have such a good start that we have had, it's only likely to become better.
What what about the maturity level? Is the refinement at what you expect, or there is still some more scope of improvement? Maybe fuel efficiency.
See, as a technologist, I do not believe we will ever arrive. You understand? I mean, that's the end of the subject. We believe there is a pretty significant amount of improvements that we can make, and which will keep us in the lead. And we are continuously operating on that. Right now, this will happen in terms of durability, in terms of life, and most significantly in terms of fuel consumption. And we have not only done the TUV test once, we did it twice. Not because we are worried about it, but we just wanted to establish that it is still as good or better. Obviously, we also have to meet all the emission norms, etc., as it progresses. So that being the case, we are in a state where we call as running very fast to make sure we remain in the lead, which is where we are right now. So, I mean, I have not seen a situation where we can slow down ever. And here, the fact that we are actually in the lead gives us a motivation to keep us there. Unfortunately, or whatever else you say, we still happen to be the only player, and the others are still catching up. I'm sure they will, because I don't think there is any lack of capability anywhere else. But the fact that you're first to market
We'll get a head start.
is very big, especially in new technology areas. And that is because it is like breaking through a barrier. Now the barrier that we have broken is not usable by others unless they have the same things to go through. So each one has to find his own barrier and break through it. So that gives us the lead, and that gives us the advantage, which will last us. We thought it will last us about 2 or 3 years. Looks like it might last a year or two more, which is, I mean, we are not really complaining.
What about buses, LNG buses? I think that's a
See, our focus, and this I want to repeat, our focus is trucks, and preferably heavy trucks. And that is because, one, we are not such a large company as to spread ourselves thin across the board. The second is, I think there is immense scope in the area that we are operating in. That before we break into any other area, we would not like to get into passenger vehicles unless we have exhausted the possibilities which exist in trucks. So, as I said, I'm saying trucks, not just the vehicle we make. So, that will be our focus. So, trucks are a focus. It gives us a great deal of opportunity.
Right.
And I believe if there is an opportunity after all this to get into buses, we are not going to sneeze at it as such. But for us, the focus is right now to remain number one in this space.
Lastly, Mr. Baptist, you're a technical guy, you're a technology guy. What is the next focus for, say, Blue Energy Motors for, say, the next 3 to 5 years?
I mean, you would have seen what are you talking about. As I said, the green energy space has several things. One, of course, we have vehicles which are operated by liquefied natural gas is where we started. We believe this is a good stepping stone towards moving into more rarefied vehicles like electrics, maybe hydrogen, maybe hybrids. But we will be in that space of green. Okay, so that's what we will be as we move.
Just to clarify, hybrids is a good potential in the commercial vehicle space?
Hybrid is essentially an extension of the electric, where it is a bit like, especially the fuel cell hybrids. When I mean hybrid, I don't mean hybrid in the sense of using IC engines, because that's not a very viable thing either, not from the emissions as well. Fuel cell hybrids are a little further away because of the both the cost of the product as well as the maturity of technology and the level of fuel that you need. Maybe interim we might see IC engines driven by hydrogen, which are
H2S.
the quality, H2Is you call it, yeah, the quality of hydrogen that it demands is not as stringent as required by fuel cell hybrids.
Correct.
Okay, so cars have been fairly successful with hybrid engines, but we don't know. Maybe it will work in very light vehicles, but in heavies, I don't see a possibility.
Correct. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best.